I hate that people take my kindness for a weakness. I was swimming with the sharks, took a dive off the deep end. I be moving different. I ain't had no kids that on me deep and take a walk up in my shoes, wouldn't survive through the weekend. I hate that people take my kindness for a weakness. I was swimming with the sharks, took a dive off the deep end. I be moving different. I ain't had no kids that on me deep and take a walk up in my shoes, wouldn't survive through the weekend.
What's going on, everybody? We back with another episode of Talk with the Cannon, the podcast. I got my sis with me. Let them know who you are. Give a little shout out real quick.
Hey y'all, most of all, shout out to Cannon with the camera first and foremost, y'all. It's your girl
Appreciate you.
I.am.am0r. I'm a mother, artist, pretty much like the jack of all trades, but just trying to master something at this juncture.
100%. Like, we got another good episode. You actually made my third episode. Yeah, I ran into you early on when I was running around with DJ Duke. Shout outs to DJ Duke. Critique. Shout outs to Critique Modeling Agency. I was able to get in with them early as they had been doing their thing, and you came through, you supported, you did a couple of shows. I think it was the one I specifically remember. Didn't you do the same one Lil Lucky did? Shout out to Lil Lucky.
Yeah,
It was at like the park, wasn't it?
Yep. It was, I believe, like the Muggsy Bowls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was dope. Met you there. Then of course traveling in the same circles, knowing a lot of the same people. Just coming up. So did you start as an artist first, or were you a photographer first?
So I started as an artist. Mainly, people still know me as an artist. A lot of people don't even know that I am a photographer. Especially even if you look at my photography page, I am not on that at all. All you see is my work. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely started as an artist, and ultimately, I feel like the artistry never stops. Even behind the camera, you're an artist.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact. So one of the things that I wanted to ask, are you a native to Baltimore?
I am a native to Baltimore. Even though people swear me up and down, I'm not from Baltimore because I don't always say it with a D. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I am a native from Baltimore. I say I have the best of both worlds because I was born over East but raised over West.
Okay, so you was born over east, raised over west. Shout outs to the city. Um, me too, front and west side. I've had the opportunity to live all over Baltimore, even in the metropolitan area over the last, well, I just turned 37 on the 25th.
Happy birthday.
You already know. So I still feel the same, you know. But yeah, so being a Baltimore native, um, tell me some of the things that got you into, this level of creativity with the music. How did you get into that?
So of course, the good thing about schools at the time was that they had music in the schools.
Hmm.
And a lot of my friends they had it in actual, like when I was in elementary school, they had like a showcase of instruments that they wanted us to learn how to play. And ultimately, I picked up a clarinet because of the buttons. Right? It might sound crazy that people will be like because of the buttons, but I was so fascinated by why does this one instrument have so many buttons? Um,
Right.
and it was a young lady that I used to go to the recreation center with that was going to, I believe, like a Catholic school that was around the corner from us, and she
Hmm.
had the same thing. So I wanted to know what it was like. I actually got acquainted with the instruments and other instruments too. So I didn't necessarily start vocally. I started with instruments, reading music. As
Oh, so
time
you
went,
can read music.
yeah. So as time went on, things happened in my life to where it was like, oh well, music is my outlet. It has always been an outlet. To put me to sleep, my mother used to have to play music. Like
Hmm.
it wasn't a time where I could go to sleep without music. So, music has always been prominent place. Has always had a prominent place in my life. And then growing up, vocally between church and things like that, just being able to express myself. I actually came into contact with, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but with um, director Patrick Austin.
Okay.
He, yeah, so he also like played like for piano. I played piano for like City College and things like that. But I met him at the time at Macedonia Baptist Church. So, I was in church
Oh, you
doing
went
vocal.
to Macedonia? What was that? Marvis P. May,
Yup, yup,
Macedonia
yup,
Baptist Church.
yup.
I visited there for a couple of years back when I was like 14. I just remember that church. That's
Right,
what's up.
right. Yeah, so that was my like home church for a while until Pastor May's demise and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like, yeah, and it was crazy. And then Garfield Webb, um, Patrick Austin, like different people like that, coming in contact with them as young as I was, I didn't recognize how great of a blessing that it was for me to meet them, to come in contact with them until years later when I was like, wow, like people like, oh my goodness, you met this, and I was like, yeah, I talk to them regular, that type of thing. So it was definitely a blessing in it, and still the blessing is carrying on. So I'm happy about that.
But that's what's up. It's funny because that's a church that, like I said, I think my mom was like in her spiritual journey at the time, and then she said, "Well, let's try this church,"
Mhm.
and we started going to that church for a couple of weeks. I would say a couple of years. Like, of course, I didn't go all the time, but my mother was visiting for a couple of years, and I went to a couple of services. And I used to remember he would do the christenings where he would put like the little honey. I thought that was cool. Like his whole presentation with that. I didn't really necessarily understand what a christening was then, but I never forget Marvis P. May, light skinned dude, low cut, and he had a son that looked just like him back then. So that's dope. Um, okay, so as you transition into doing music more, when did you make that? I guess the adjustment to say, look, I want to start rapping. I mean, and singing.
So I think I didn't even know I had a voice, right? So I think
Hmm.
I was probably like 11 or 12. Everybody can sing in the shower, bro. You know what I mean? But my mom was the one who was like, that song you were singing in the shower, can you sing it again? So I sung it. And she was like, do you know that you can sing? I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? So I was like, I'm just saying words. I'm just saying, like, basically, being replicating what I hear,
Hmm.
from other artists and things like that, even down to their how they sing.
Hmm.
So, so once and around that time, that's when I started going to church. So I had to be 11 or 12. Then we started going to Macedonia, and all my friends were a part of the choir. They were like, "Why don't you join the choir?" And I'm like, "Bruh, I don't even know any church songs." You know what I'm saying? I don't know
Right.
any church. So let me tell you, Patrick Austin had me. He was like, "You want to sing for the choir?" I was like, "Yeah, I do want to sing for it." He was like, "Sing a song." I'm like, I don't know any church songs, and I kind of felt embarrassed. I'm like, well, I'm in church, I should know something. So he was like, just sing any song. Yo, I'm embarrassed to even say what song I sung, but I sung a song, and then they helped groom me to with my voice and things like that. And then even down back to school, because I think I was going to middle school. In the middle school at the time, we had a vocal coach there, so they were helping me. They were helping me.
So that's what woke you up to the point where you felt like, okay, I can sing. And then as you got to that, when did you become a more? I am a more. When did you say, all right, this is my like? When did you get to that point? Walk me through that.
So going from instrumental to just strictly vocal. Like I said, I had went through some experiences in my life through my parents and like trying to figure out like, you know, uh, basically my dad in that regard, like damn, why you not here for me type of thing, down
Hmm.
to writing poetry. So poetry was my thing. So then I was like, well, I could turn these words into songs. Um, so like going to the point of trying to actually figure out who the hell I was, you know what I'm saying, and like
Yeah.
even still today trying to figure out, and ultimately like although my name is actually my real name is Amore, I don't think I necessarily found out exactly who I was or the I Am a More until I made the album I Am a More, the EP,
Hmm.
which came out about 2000, probably like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I think after the demise of my husband, which was in 2017, I didn't necessarily going through that whole grieving process. I don't think I necessarily found out that I wasn't more until I actually found the strength out of that grieving process.
That makes sense. So You lost your husband. Sorry for your loss. You went through that process, and then as you transition to that, did you say, "Look, I'm gonna pick up the mic more. I'm gonna get in the studio. I'm gonna start working on music more"?
So it was a thing where I didn't want to sing. Because I felt like my husband was like my number one supporter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, yo, I don't want to sing anymore. I'm done with it. You know. But having my daughter, my husband passed in May of 2017. My daughter was born June of 2017. So like,
Mm,
uh, and I remember holding her. The first song I sung to my daughter was oh my goodness, His Eyes on the Sparrow. Okay.
mm-hmm,
So I was like, I was like, well, maybe I could still do it. That was the maybe part. You feel me? So like after like seeing her get older and like continuously singing to her, I'm like, yo, I gotta get this song out of me. But it was so hard to sing and like get those emotions out because I had been trying to depress them for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, I just don't want people to see me cry. So I was just like, all right, well, you got to get this out of you. And even my team were saying, like, you have to get this out of you. Like, everything you went through is not for you. And I'm like, well,
mm-hmm,
what the hell you mean? What you mean it's not for me? You know what I'm saying? But in reality, after doing some maturing of the emotional aspect and even like taking a step back to see, like, you're not the first person that this has happened to, and you
mm-hmm,
may not be the last person this happened to. But this happened for a reason, and it happened because you are supposed to be a messenger. So getting that idea of like you're supposed to be a messenger was like, oh, I gotta pick up this mic again. I gotta make sure that I do my part and not hold on to this because I can help heal somebody else.
right. Now, for those watching, what advice do you have for people who have gone through similar issues and they deal with grieving and then suppression of themselves? What kind of advice could you give for people who've been in that position?
One thing's for certain is that don't expect people to be there. Like because some people don't know how to, especially when you're going through that particular period. um, you have to really, whoever you believe in, I say hold on to that. I think that will take you very, very far, and allow yourself to feel. Some people will say, this happened X amount of years. Why are you still feeling? Don't allow people to dictate how your grieving process goes, but allow
Yeah.
yourself to feel. But don't get stuck in it. Don't get stuck in it because it's hard to come out that black hole. You know what I'm saying? So definitely like keep your faith. Don't have too many expectations for people to be there for you. I know it's hard. It's hard because you expect people to like, oh, that's my sister. I expect, but a lot of times people don't necessarily know how to be there for you. And that's something that I had to learn and accept. It's not
Hmm.
always easy 'cause it's like, well, I'm always there for people, but the reality of it is, they used to tell us, you treat people how you want to be treated, but the part they really should have told us is don't expect people to treat you the same way. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to continue to be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, and remember to like this is like asterisk mark right here. Like, always remember you will never be the same person you were before the incident happened. So
Okay.
don't look to be that same. Like, I want to get back to the old me. You will never be that same person. You know what I'm saying? Like, experiences will change you. You know what I'm saying? But it's in your
That's good right there. Experiences will change you. That's good.
for sure. So yeah, man, it's a process. Process make. I always tell people, practice makes progress. We're not looking for perfection. Yeah.
That's good. That's good right there. Now, we were talking offline, and you mentioned your podcast. You have a podcast. Do you share this type of information with your audience?
Yes, for sure. So my podcast is actually called Let's Talk About It.
Let's talk about it.
A lot of times, we try to find out why. And that was my thing. Like, okay, you can talk about anything, but why are you making this? For me, it's like, everybody say, it takes a village to raise a child, but really, it takes a village for these adults too. And I want people to realize, like, you can feel safe with your thoughts, because sometimes we want to say F them kids. Sometimes even though we love them, sometimes we just want to be like, F them kids today. You know what I mean? But I want people to feel like they're not being judged for being human.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good right there. Where can we find your podcast at?
So my podcast is we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's Let's Talk TLK and not TALK, but Let's Talk
Okay.
About It. So what I could do is I'll send you the link to. But we normally go live on Facebook Live at on Thursdays at 9:30 Eastern time.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll leave it in the show notes. That way people can follow you if they want to get tapped in with a more. They know where to find your podcast at, and we'll go from there. So I'm
Absolutely.
glad you let me know about that because I think this will be that's a good transition. I think that's something good to give back to the community because people need to hear that message. People, I believe, um, will need that. I feel like there's a lot of people who don't know how to grieve properly. People who just don't even know how to be a part of a cohesive community, just in general. So a
Yeah.
lot of the things you're doing there, I think, is good. Um, moving forward, I also know that you have the camera. You do the camera work. Talk about your camera business a little bit.
So my camera business is called In the Moment Photography, and In the Moment Photography, I believe, is a great name. And I came up with the name because I realized like we're always in our phones. We're missing like everything that's around us. So I want to be
Yeah,
able to capture those moments for people. In addition to this, like I know it sounds crazy, but what I realized with my family too is that we realize we don't have a lot of pictures of people when people pass away. Okay,
yeah,
so I want to be able to give people what they don't have because you'll never be able to take a picture with people again. You know what I'm saying? You got to capture every moment that you possibly can and be able to, like just live in that moment. With my particular business right now, we do different things, events, birthdays, weddings. We also have like the photo booths, the 360 and the regular booth. We have introduced videography to. These last few weeks, I have been doing sports photography, so just
mm,
getting into like being able for people to afford packages of their athlete or highlight videos and things like that because I was an athlete myself, and I realized I'm like, dang, I had terrible highlight videos. You know what I'm saying?
oh
Because
wow.
we were using like those one handheld cameras and stuff like that,
Hmm.
or our phones at the time that are now the videos are so grainy you can barely tell what number you are. So I wanted to people to have that chance that I necessarily didn't have at the time. So yeah, just making it available for everybody.
Okay, so that's what's up. And you said you were an athlete. What sports did you play?
So I played lacrosse, badminton, basketball, softball, volleyball. That's all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So lacrosse, yeah, yeah. Lacrosse, badminton, softball, basketball, volleyball. Yeah, that was my thing.
Okay, so you pretty much did a
Oh, and I
little
did
bit of
football
everything.
too.
You
Yeah,
said what?
I did football as well.
Okay, okay. And that's so you kind of know exactly what people are looking for and just in terms of the packages and piecing it together. When did you find out that you really like doing photography?
So I had to like think about it, right? Because my it's crazy. My grandmother always put a doggone camera in my hand, but I like put it down. But they would have me always take family pictures, and it
Hmm.
like why do y'all keep whatever. But then I kind of like stepped away from it to get back into the music. But after that, it was probably about 4 years ago. Picked up the camera again and haven't put it down since.
Okay,
Yeah.
so artist in terms of singer, podcaster, photographer,
Hmm.
mom.
Hmm.
You know, now how was it like compartmentalizing those things? Like how do you like how are you balancing all of those things?
Including my daughter. You know what I mean? That's first and foremost. And I
Hmm.
include her by like teaching her about the camera, allowing her to take pictures on the camera, and even some like I actually started with the sports part because my daughter she was cheerleading at first, and
Hmm.
then she just recently started playing basketball. So I was like, well, it goes hand in hand. I got like a lot of my loves in this one place. My daughter, basketball, and I have the camera. So just kind of putting that together,
Hmm.
really prioritizing things because sometimes I realize I'm like, dang, I have no time for myself. So like really prioritizing things and being able to say no sometimes when I'm not. I may be available, but mentally I may not be available.
Right.
Yeah.
So just basically balancing your schedule and things of that nature. Now, okay, so I got a lot of different questions in a lot of different areas because you wear so many different hats. So it's like I wanted to know. All right, so I've seen you perform live before. How do you feel like they ready to introduce you? You ready to get on a mic? Are you a person? Are you nervous when you get up there?
I am terrified. I am terrified. And I think I'm terrified because it's like, you know how sometimes you be like, yo, I hope I don't trip. Or it'd be like, I hope I don't crack on this note. And I hope I
Hmm.
give my all, you know what I'm saying? I stopped worrying so much about, man, I hope the artists, the people in the audience feel me, you
Right.
know, because all in all, like, everybody don't like coffee, but some people like tea. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
vice versa. So it's like you're gonna speak to who you need to speak to, but whether it's 1,000, or 100,000, you just have to give your all, and people will see that. You know what I'm saying? And people will connect with that. So but I still get terrified. I just do, and I think because I'm so passionate about it, I don't want to mess up.
Right. Trust me, I get it. How would you describe like your music? Like what genre do you feel in? Are you like neo soul? Are you like traditional R&B? Like where do you see yourself if you had to search yourself up on, you
If I
know,
had to search myself, I say neo soul straight
neo
up.
soul? Okay.
So I can, swing into the R&B, but I love some neo soul because I feel like not saying that R&B doesn't, I'm not throwing shade, but I'm just saying that neo soul kind of, it speaks, you know what I'm saying, and
Hmm.
to a different way that where no matter what color creed, everybody can relate to some aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who are some of your neo soul influences?
Let me see. So I would say, of course, like, you got your Erica Badu's, of course. So see, this is where it comes. So I got my, of course, I got my Jasmine Sullivan's, I got my
Okay.
her. India Irie is top, like that's my top person, and I think because her voice is so mellow to me,
Hmm.
um, and it definitely speaks. Leela James,
Okay.
those people right there are people are like, yeah, like I've seen majority of them in person, and it made me love them and their artistry even more.
Okay. You name you name some powerhouse people just there. Now watching that, have you like do you feel like their music has influenced the way you position your music, like how you write your lyrics, how you deliver your music? Do you feel like they helped influence that?
I think so, and I say that because, um, so I'm not really one to bash men in my music,
Okay.
um, and I feel a way, if somebody probably was to ask me to do so, and I say that because I think that I feel like men, especially black men, are, um, for one of the reasons why I'm here. And
Hmm.
for two, like, black men to me are just, I'm gonna say this, like, I have a different level of respect for black men since my husband passed. And I say that because it took me a while to realize the struggles that black men go through and to appreciate the level of overcoming, and still fighting battles and things like that. So I have a different and a deep appreciation for black men. So I really don't want to, so I'm saying, like, the people who music that I listen to, they don't talk bad about black men. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
regardless if they may have ill feelings, they put it in a different way that still feel a bit loving. You know what I'm saying? So it teaches you how to talk to people, how to talk to the black man, not just to his just physical body, but to his soul too.
That makes sense. So when you write in your music, like what's your songwriting process? Do you like go to the studio and sit and let them just play the song over and over again, or do you come up with the lyrics first and then apply it to an instrumentation? How does that usually work for you?
So sometimes it depends on the mood, and because sometimes I could hear a song. I mean, I could hear a beat, and the lyrics come instantaneously. And
Mm.
Then there's some times where I have stuff written down already, and I'll just put it to a beat. But a lot of
Gotcha.
times lately, it has been because even the song "Vibe" that I have, I actually came up with that song on my way to work. I was working at a dentist office at the time, so in the car on my way to work, and I was like, "Oh, this is a vibe right here." You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was just thinking about it, and the song populated. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" So when it's a beautiful thing where you could write anywhere, you know what I mean? But for me, my car is my safe place in a sense, in a place where I can like, be flooded with artistry and not so many bad thoughts, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
I like what you mean. I like what you said about that being. It's one of them places where it feel almost soundproof. You can kind
mhm.
of play around with the notes. You can, you know, I can see that. A lot of people also like the bathroom too because
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. It's
Lucas,
everything
man,
sound good in the bathroom, don't it? Everything sound
Lucas is
good in the bathroom.
crazy. Yes.
Um. So moving into being an artist and then we talked about prepping for a show and then getting on stage like once you like where do you see yourself with your music career in the next in the next 3 to 5 years? Do you want are you looking to become the next hit neo soul person, or you this is more of a therapeutic way to connect with people? Like, how do you see yourself in that framework?
So at first I was like, I see myself like being in the forefront, you know what I'm saying? Because who doesn't want to be in the forefront? But that's not my type of, that's not my persona per se. I
Hmm.
like in the background. That's why I'm a camera person because I
Yeah,
like being behind the camera. So within 3 to 5 years, I do see myself writing more for other artists. And I would like to actually be able to get some placements with commercials and things like that. So saying that for myself and just being able to make other streams of income too. I would love to sing background for some artists that I've named, you know. And even still, like, even if it's a thing where I do have the opportunity to present myself in front of people and be able to be in the forefront, that's fine too. But if not, I think I'm okay with that.
because you love what you do, so you doing it because it's therapeutic at
Yeah,
the bottom line anyway.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
either way, I'm gonna get my message across.
so so you perform multiple times now. What would you say your most memorable performance is?
Boom. My most memorable performance was at the garage. Um,
Okay.
it was most memorable because I think probably a week before I went to Philly, didn't
Hmm.
didn't know what. Thanks to Duke, DJ Duke, shout out to Duke.
Hmm.
Went to Philly, didn't know what I was necessarily walking into, and I performed. Uh, so the people in Philly, and my hat goes off to them because not everybody give you positive criticism. You know what I'm saying? So they gave me my praise, but they also gave me what I could work on. Right.
Hmm.
So I took that, what they said, I took that, digested that, and worked my tail off for this next performance. They were at that performance at the
Wow.
garage. Um, and everything they told me, and I applied to that night and beyond. And and I said that's my favorite performance because they were able to see that what they said didn't go to deaf's ear. And so much so they came to me and was like, I didn't even know that was you walking past us because you had something totally different on. You walked around with confidence, and everything we said, you applied it. Like, so it goes to show, like, sometimes all you got to do is listen and apply what people are saying to you, because everyone that's saying something to you is not always bad. And I think sometimes, of course, what Erica Badu said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about you know what I'm saying? And I understand we
Hmm.
sensitive, but you have to be able to take some things with a grain of salt, and know that it's not all bad,
Sure.
man. It's not all bad.
No, I'm with you on that. Like sometimes I feel like when people give critiques, people often internalize it as hate. Not every time person is hating. Sometimes people might say you might need a few little edge ups to clean up your performance or clean up your artistry. And sometimes taking advice is definitely a good thing. So
Hmm.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. You have any advice for artists who are looking to sing?
So to any artist, man, consistency is key. Um, Other people can't believe in you more than you believe in you. They can't put
Right.
in the work more than you put in the work. That's with anything, you know. And just because you may fall, that's okay. Just keep getting back up. Everything, won't be everything won't be sunshine. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to dance in the rain. And that's fine. You might get your head a little wet, whatever. But
Hmm.
eventually you'll see your works will not go dead as long as you keep working. And that moment when you feel like stopping, that may be the moment where you may just have your breakthrough, but you won't know unless you try. So keep trying, keep going, and keep being consistent with yourself and with your craft.
No, that was good right there. I wanted to ask you, coming from Baltimore, um, and being in the industry of working with DJs like Duke and meeting other artists and performers, um, are there any local artists that you kind of locked in with that you really like?
So I'll actually have one on my podcast tonight. Her name is Whitney Chantel. I
Okay,
believe like she's to me she's amazing. It and some other artists that I you know I mean I'm gonna just throw that on there. You okay? Um,
appreciate it.
and I mean there are some other artists, but I think within Baltimore, I think I've just come to a point where it's like, um, if I just am able to meet them, I'm fine with that. Even if we don't necessarily work with each other, because it may not be aligned for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I could want it all day, but it may not be aligned. So just to see other people excel, that to me, that makes me happy. You know what I mean? Because I've seen people excel and they don't go beyond this city. So to
Yeah.
see people excel, I'm happy with that. Like that right there also would make me like, all right, cool. I'm cool with that.
What would you say to like Baltimore isn't like the hugest city in terms of New York, Philly, California has LA and a few other cities out there. What would you say to people that talk about the Baltimore or Jersey, the music scene here? Do you feel like we have like a big music scene, or do you feel like it's small compared to other cities? Like, how do you see Baltimore's music scene?
I think it's as big as you make it feel. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like I feel like people like Run It Up Jordan, just for example,
Yeah.
like his music has gone different places, and I think that as if we continue to as a whole, even if we're in different genres, if we continue to as he did, be consistent,
Hmm.
lock in with different people, network, and just really really be intentional about what we do, there is no cap space to what will hold Baltimore music scene.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a lot of talent here, in a lot of different genres. I've seen everybody from the dancers, the club music scene to just the two step scene,
Hmm.
singers, rappers, DJs. I think we got a lot of talent here, and I feel like we don't get the recognition that we deserve as much as other cities. And I feel like we've created some of the lanes that people are in.
Hmm.
Um, just holistically, all the way from rapping, dancing, singing, even our lingo, people, how we dress. You can see you can have the same outfit on as somebody from another city, and it just look better on some, in my opinion, for somebody from Baltimore. Like I just feel like in certain aspects, maybe because I'm from here, I'm biased, but I've been a lot of places, and sometimes I'm like,
It's not
we do
hitting.
it better. You know
And
what I mean?
I think too because people they already have uh, a misconception in a sense
Hmm.
of things. They only have a one track mind, and I say one track because if you look at,
Hmm.
we all grew up on The Wire. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
And people never had anything beyond that except we own this city, so everything shows like the corruption and everything, but nobody
Hmm.
shows the good. When the good comes, you don't see cameras around. You don't see those
You ain't
people that
lying.
that have that misconception of, oh, Baltimore is just a crazy deadly city. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much more. It's so much more to this city. It's so much more strength to this city than people can imagine. Because just think about it. Even though we may have the deaths that we do, you have the people that are still living through it. Still raising
Mhm.
their children through it. That takes strength. This is not for the weak at all. Weak minded, weak emotionally, anything. It's not for the weak. Our city is a very strong city. Even though people may throw dirt on our name, just know where it came from. Y'all wasn't rocking with Five Wings and Fries beforehand. You know what I mean? So just know that it came here from Baltimore, and it's okay. We don't
Fact.
put mango sauce. We put ketchup, but that's cool. Ketchup hot sauce.
Salt, pepper, ketchup, half and half. You feel me? Wings
True.
fried hard. Stop playing with us.
What?
That's a
Yes.
real chicken box. Not no half and half. It's no Arnold Palmer. It's a chicken box. You feel me? So you know. So
Can
we've
you hear
talked
me?
about quite a few things. We've talked about photography. We talked about the podcast. We talked a lot about the music. You know, as a woman in the business scene. Uh-oh. Um, I lost her for a second. Let me get her back in there. Got you back.
My
Um,
apologies.
no problem. I was gonna say, just being a woman and just in the industry, do you feel like there's a difference between men and women when it comes to just artistry, photography, music?
See, I think I so
Uh-oh. I think I lost you again. Well, if you watching the channel, definitely hit the like and subscribe button. Cannon with the camera, you already know. If you want to be a guest on the show, inbox me, Cannon with the camera on Instagram, Cannon with the camera on Facebook. If you want to be, a part of the show, definitely lock in with me. You could be the next guest if you're interested. But I got my sister Amore back. We just going making moves in terms of just tapping in. But you need me, inbox me. You can get with me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Leave me a message. Say you want to get on the show. You can be the next guest if you're interested. So more, as I was saying, how do you perceive, I guess, the differences between male and female on the show? I mean, in terms of
the artistry
being in the
part.
industry.
So I'm gonna say for me, right? Because my team be like, "Oh, you gotta dress us this way, dress this way." When we go to places and I see guys with sweatpants, I be like, I feel away because I mean, of course, we have to always, look our best and present ourselves. But I be like, yo, I spent all this time getting dressed, and he put on a sweatsuit. Make it make sense, and people expect women to hold themselves up to a different stature, you know what I'm saying? Not taking away from men, because I know that there's some men who put that stuff on, you know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
um to the eye, they expect women to be feminine, you know what I'm saying? And I don't necessarily think that it's like more or less type of thing, but I think that they expect women to be feminine and show their femininity and walk in that. So there is a certain expectation. I don't think it's a level of high or low. I just think it's just the expectation.
I know it. I know where you coming from with that. I can throw on a Nike Tech, some tennis, and a watch, and it's over. You know what I mean? So we
Yeah,
expecting you to come all the way presented a certain way, and I get that.
yeah,
And but also with women, you kind of expect a little bit more extras. Dudes can really kind of dress. Now, I mean, nowadays you see dudes fully dressed up too, but it's just not, I guess, the same level of fairness between men and women on that tip. So I'm
yeah.
with you on that. I I also wanted to ask you about um you mentioned that you were married before and he passed. Do you ever see yourself getting remarried again?
the dating pool seems like it's full of piss in the water. Okay, but but I mean, I'm hopeful. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people because people be like, I tell people I'm a hopeful romantic. I'm not a hopeless romantic. You feel? I'm a hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe that eventually I will get married again. You know what I'm saying? Because even though we came in this world by ourselves, we're not necessarily meant to be by ourselves. You know what I mean? So
That's a fair assessment.
I do believe I'll be able to find that companionship again. Like I really I hope I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I do want the family dynamic, and a healthy family dynamic. I'm gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? So I do
Mm-hmm.
that. I would love to be married again. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because at first I was like, I ain't getting married again. But in all reality, it's like I'm willing to do the work because that's what it takes. It takes work. It takes dedication. It takes a lot to be one with a person because
Yeah.
everybody is different. You know, people expect people to remain the same, but in all reality, like I said, experiences change you. So when you go through those experiences, you got to remember too that you got to learn who your partner is, not who you want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know where you're coming from with that. Now, do you see yourself as traditional, like you gonna be cooking and all that type of stuff?
Cook, I clean anyway. You feel me? Because that's what I got to do. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the load can be shared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we all in the house together, nigga, if you see a plate like just sitting, like don't just leave it sitting there, like you know what I mean. But like I told my daughter, teamwork made the dream work, and I believe that's also for marriages too. You know, so it's like a thing where we both have to sit down and discuss what our expectations are out of each other. You know,
Yeah.
and try to like set some, you know, set some ideas around each other, like a compromising, you know, because that's what it's about, compromising. Everybody want to be right. Everybody want to have it their way, and that shit not gonna work. You know what I mean? It's not gonna work. It don't. Whether it's a friendship, marriage, it's not gonna work. You got to compromise to some extent. So just yeah, is I don't know. I don't think I'm necessarily traditional in that sense. Like I'm like we ain't gotta have a big wedding, bro. Let's go ahead, go to the courthouse, and we can just have a big reception afterwards because we gotta live after. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me though.
No, I'm with you on that. You saying something that I did.
But yeah.
You know, when I got married, it's been 11 years now. When I got married, my wife was talking about a wedding, and just the numbers was like 20,000. I'm like, nah, I
For
can't do that. I
15
want to get a
minutes.
house. Say it again.
For 15 minutes.
Yeah, if
That's it.
I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't care about. I like people, but you don't need to come to my wedding. You can come to the reception. So I end up doing the courthouse, got married, and I think the little certificate was like $60. Got that, got a little ring to put on. Got mine was cool. I don't really need nothing. Something
Mm-hmm.
that get lost, I'm gonna be upset about it.
Right.
I don't really take it off, but in the event that it come off, because mine's can easily, I'm skinny, so mine's can fly it off or whatever the case may be. Um, I didn't want to spend so much money that I couldn't afford a down payment on a house. So we got married, dropped money on the house. We ended up having our reception like closer to my birthday just because we got married in August and my birthday was that October. And then I end up having my cousin DJ. Shout out to DJ Booby. That's my man. He
Nice.
did my wedding reception, and I had a nice turnout. People, I ended up spending money on the suit for that though, which was that was counterintuitive, but I wanted to look clean for that. My wife put something together, and it was a cool event. I had a lot of people there that I hadn't seen in a while. People that was her family, my family. But I didn't want to spend $20,000, and we definitely didn't spend that. We didn't spend nowhere near that.
And I feel like
Especially for
most
people just
marriages
to see
last
how
long
you
though.
dress.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. Save your. I'm always big, and especially in today's economy, save your
Mm-hmm.
money, stack your bread, and get. You can't live in no wedding. You can't live in no fancy ring. Now, if you
Right.
got the bread for that, do whatever you want to do. But for people who want to be cost effective, and sometimes you only get one run with this money. I don't want to blow money on stuff that I can't get back. I got
Right.
5 daughters. I, if they don't have no big wedding, cool. Now, if I end up becoming some big time person where I have the finances to be able to do it, where they can have huge weddings, cool.
It's
But
different.
I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who spend a lot of money don't stay married forever either. So it's the
Listen,
people who ain't really have too much. I'm not saying that a marriage where you spend money um means that you'll get a divorce, and I'm not saying that if you started off with not a lot of money that you'll stay together. But the reality is, I didn't want to come into a marriage in debt, and so that was one of the things for me. But I figured I would ask you, just you know, like you said, the dating up is piss, and the you know,
for real. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like when females be like, all men ain't that. I'm like, have you dated all men? Do you know all? Like, don't say that. It's just the men that you come across. Maybe you need to change something about yourself, and then you attract the man that you want. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
yeah. Have you found, like, all right, do you have any like stories where you don't gotta say no names or nothing? That you have these stories where somebody was just like a horrible fit, like you dated somebody and was like, nah, he got cool.
listen. Before I even dated the person, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know when the red flag is coming, bro. You got to pay attention to the red flag. Like you at you got to pay attention to the red flags to the point of like I've had people that have been like, hey, can I take you out? And I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it is I'm not gonna keep reminding you about something you asked me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the day came, you know what I'm saying, that the guy was, we were talking the whole week, and then that day I ain't call him, he ain't call me. Then he had the nerve to text me probably like a week and a half later and was like, dang, we was how we go from talking every day and seeming like we for each other, then we go to barely speaking at all. I'm like, what? Like
Yo, that's crazy.
what? Like like you serious? I was like, man, I just was like, I sent him the shrug shoulders because I ain't got time. I don't have time to keep explaining stuff that you should already know. Like,
So he went cold turkey the day of the actual supposed date, and then he got out of there. Then he waited 2 weeks later to hit you back, like, yo, what happened? That's
I,
crazy.
I was like, I just laugh at stuff like that because I don't get my hopes up with people. I just let people
Hmm.
show me who they are. You know what I'm saying? And when they show me who they are, I have to believe them, or then I'm the fool. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's facts.
yeah,
You
I
gotta
just.
let people know who let people show you who they are. That's
Mhm.
facts.
Mhm.
I'm in complete agreement with that.
Because they gonna show you. The facade only lasts for so long.
Hmm.
Show you. Yep. So,
How big is spirituality in your life in terms of matching with a person?
man, more and more it seems like spirituality is like top tier. And I say that because I am more of a spiritual person than some people probably know,
Hmm.
or even recognize. And I'm not just saying, oh, I go to church every Sunday type of thing. It's far more than just a building for me. And
Hmm.
I have to be with somebody who actually understands it, who understands that, um, people that have visions are real. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
these the things are real and do kind of affect how they move, how they think, how they talk, how they connect with people, just things like that. Like the spirituality part is, for me, is you gotta have some type of spirituality, and
Hmm.
not the play kind, but the kind where you fully understand who you are and acknowledge your spirituality as well.
No, I understand where you're coming from with that. I agree too. That was probably one of the things, because you you heard it before. Being unequally yoked, that's a real thing. Being with somebody, you they laughing at you because you got a Bible, but they got a deck of cards. So it's
Listen,
just like you looking at them like, what?
listen.
So and that's no offense to anybody for what they believe. I'm just saying that being unequally yoked is a real thing. Some
Mhm.
people mentality, how they view raising kids, or how they believe you should eat. Because some people are real serious about they only eat this, and this, and this, and it's like, all right, bacon on a sandwich is definitely important to me. I like
Listen,
bacon on my sandwich for real. You're not gonna be able to get me to stop eating bacon, sis.
listen. There's a guy that tried dating me. He a vegan. I was like, I love vegan food, but I'm like a couple days, out of the week or month, I like the oink oink, my guy. I'm sorry, like that's just what I like.
And
For
you gotta
your
get
real,
you some, yeah, some divine swine, my sister.
for real.
No,
So
I'm with
what?
you on that. I'm with
Yeah,
you on that. Like vegan food be cool. I just be thrown off by don't say it's vegan chicken nuggets. You're not a vegan. You just trying like saying that it's nuggets versus carrot sticks. If you
mhm.
eating carrot sticks, you a vegan. But you saying I got a vegan mushroom burger. It's not a burger. It's mushrooms on bread or mushrooms over top of lettuce and tomatoes. You don't like you trying to replace it with like vegan bacon. It's not bacon. It's just you get what I'm saying? Like I feel like a real vegan is okay eating rabbit food. Don't try to make it like it's a fake cheesesteak.
Well,
You
see,
like
because they said there's a difference between vegetarian and vegan, right? Or something
right.
like. So I listen. I don't know. I don't know.
I eat the food, but I all they food is just sides to me. Like y'all got sides only. Y'all don't have no real meal plan that I could really get with. And then for me to have Caribbean roots, Haitian people eat a lot of pork anyway. And to be honest, I be feeling like Haitians be living longer than regular Americans. So it's not the pork killing you, especially if you cooking it right.
It's
I
the
feel
environment
like
itself.
say it again.
It's the environment itself.
Facts. And then, like, I mean, if you like here in America, we finding out that a lot of those foods that we think is good got a lot of chemicals. Is very adulterated. Like, even the vegan stuff is not that good for you because there's chemicals in the fruits or on the fruits and vegetables that they spraying that's giving people cancer, pesticides and stuff like that. So it's not. You go to another country and eat the same exact food, and they losing weight. We getting the food and it's making us sick, and people gaining weight and getting ADHD, and so it's like, well, that's a show for in and of itself. But um, just being educated by somebody who is actually understanding of what's going on. When you read the back of the can or the back of the bottle or the box or whatever, you can see ketchup ain't like like 600 different chemicals. Ketchup should
It's
be
about two
vinegar,
or
salt,
three.
tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe some water a little bit. I'm guessing, but like if it's not like seasonings, crushed tomatoes, and like a little bit of vinegar or something to create the sauce, you got like sodium benzenate and all these other. And I'm just making up
And
random stuff, but yeah, and like all right, this high fructose, like you ain't had, you could have added a teaspoon of sugar to it, and then you don't have to give me like this specialized chemical, equation on the back. And it's like half the stuff you need somebody with a degree to explain what it is. I'm like, nah, like you can make tomato, take tomato paste, a vinegar, a little water, and season on, make your own ketchup. Crush your own tomatoes if you really want to be that serious about it. And it's just interesting for people to not realize what they putting in their body, you know.
yeah, for
But
sure.
we are at the 53-minute mark. We breaking down towards the end. We might have to do a part two. Matter of fact, do you have any more music get ready to drop soon?
So I'm actually in the process of working on a new EP.
Hmm.
This EP, man, like, so there'll be a lot more acoustics, music on there. Just kind of like hearing my like almost like a tiny desk feel. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah. So kind of doing that, and I'm also working on some gospel music as well, because I got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Talk
You
about
got to.
my spirituality. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
those parts of me that are ugly, um, and just coming out and overcoming some things throughout the struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't necessarily see the process of everything; they just see the result, and they fall in love with the result. But
Hmm.
here I am willing to kind of expose myself and show people the process.
being more transparent in your music is a good thing. And this is your second project?
Yes, this will be my second project. I do have some singles out too that I actually don't promote them, but I will promote them soon. There's a song that I have called Only. There's
Mhm.
also a song that I have called Motions. And I think that people will kind of rock with them. That's like, so I actually made those songs like early in my career, and it's funny to hear how my voice has graduated in a sense from that to what it is now. I also have some other projects that have been released. I have a self-titled mini documentary, short documentary. Of course, it's called Amor. Just
Mhm.
basically talk about the struggles that I had in regards to losing my husband and how music and my daughter have helped me the most,
Yeah.
overcoming and just being able to shine again. You know, because my light was a little dim, so to shine again. It has won best documentary of 2023 in DC.
Oh wow.
It also won for the Black International Film Festival that was here. It also won audience awards, so it's winning some awards. It's been shown in Virginia, Baltimore, DC, and we're actually working on to be let it being shown to other places too. And people are like, well, when was it in Baltimore? And I was like, yo, I was promoting it like crazy in Baltimore. Um, but it seems like I get sometimes I mean it is what it is, but I feel like I get more love when I'm not home. So
No,
I
that's yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on
yeah,
that. I'm with you
taking
on
it
that.
out to where I get the love. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hate it being that way, but it's like sometimes here in Baltimore, if you aren't necessarily already known, or if you didn't die, or if something else to that extent, people don't really, tap into what you have going on. And I think I have come to a point where I've accepted it, and I'm okay with that. And I'm gonna just go to where my love is, but I'm gonna always show my people that's in Baltimore. I'm gonna show my people love regardless, because I mean, who would I be not to show people love? I mean, freak. My name means love. I mean, so who would I be not to
Hmm.
show? But I just take it where where it'll flourish.
Oh, that's I like what you said there. And again, when we done, make sure you I guess inbox me some links to the music. Where can they find your music at?
So my music is available on all streaming platforms. I have a video for one of my songs called "Over You." It was produced by BJR, and the video was actually directed by Chris Bivens. So that is on YouTube.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and the documentary, since we have been basically entering them into film festivals, the whole thing is not out. But I do have a promo video for it, which I would love people to see, tap into, and very soon, me and my team is actually working on another screening here in Baltimore, because I was like, I did tell my people, like my team, like, yo, like, people were asking me, so I just want to see people put their money where their mouth is, type of thing.
Yeah, give
I
people an
also
opportunity to support.
Yeah, for sure. So I never stop an opportunity, you know what I'm saying? So we'll be working on that. And in regards to my podcast too, that is also again on YouTube, Facebook Live, under Amor, AMOR, you know what I'm saying? So and
Yeah.
I soon with my podcast, I'll be actually having meetups for people too. Because of course we can do online all day long, but I want people to actually know that they have a village. So just creating that safe space, creating that village, and creating something that's tangible for people as well.
You gonna get there, you know. Again, Amor, I really appreciate you for taking the time out of your busy day to just lock in with me, you know. But it's
Everyone.
always been love. You see me at events, we always, so it's always been good when you hit me. I'm like, all right, perfect, right person, because I wanted to go. How I initially wanted it to go, I was going to do a male, female, back to back. But then I'm like, you know what? Why am I making it like that when whoever is available can be the next person? I don't really have no picks, just to be fair. I got people obviously that I want to see get on, you know, just because I want to be able to pick their brain and ask questions. I feel like for me, this is a way for me to get to know more people. I feel like I was able to learn a lot more about you just in I didn't really realize that you I didn't realize that you had your own something entered into the festival. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you had some visuals. So I want to see that music video that Bivens did. I definitely want to check that out. I'm looking forward to that. And as always, you know, I appreciate you. Keep me in the loop in terms of new shows that you get ready to do. Because if I'm back out in the community, um, I would like to be there to support, you know, and if I got something coming up, I'll make sure I inbox you myself and let you know what's going on. But, you know, any last words, any shout outs you want to give the people?
Shout out to my baby, my Aria. You know, just big ups to Big G. I call God Big G. You know what I'm saying? So shout outs to Big G. Shout out to everybody that tuned in with myself and Cannon with the camera. And big shout out to you for continuing to like keep pressing forward, keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? Because it's not always easy, but you just keep going. You know what I mean?
For
So
sure.
one thing I want to tell everybody that lock on, just continue to walk in your purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, today is the day that you start to find that purpose. Because we're all here for a reason.
And with that, I'm Cannon with the camera. That's my sister, I.am.am0r. Check her out on all streaming platforms. Check the description for more information on how to reach out to her. And we're going to leave off with the like and subscribe. And we out. Peace.